So, hi everyone, I am Dr. Vijay Bhaskar Reddy, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry. I am handling environmental science subject. Today we are going to environmental pollution. So, what is the environmental pollution? So, any alteration means change. Simply say alteration means change. Any alteration to air, water, soil or food that will be threatens to the health, survival capability or activities of human or living organisms is called the environmental pollution. For example, a food will be alteration happen or food poison will be alteration happen is a health hazards, health problem is coming. So that also is one type of category of the pollution, health hazard, that one. So here the alteration of the air composition or water composition or soil composition or food composition will be threatens to the health or survival capability is called the environmental pollution. There are different types of environmental pollution is there: air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, soil pollution, marine pollution, thermal pollution, radiation pollution and solid waste pollution. Today we are going to discuss about the topic is the air pollution. So today overview of the lecture is the air pollution. What are the causes of the air pollution and effects of air pollution and some of the control methods of air pollution. So discuss about the first. There are two types of pollutions are there broadly. Basically the pollution is classified into the two types. One is the natural pollution. Second one is the man-made pollution or artificial pollution also. Generally this type of pollution is limited. It occurs from the generally natural hazards. It's generally is coming by the nature itself. So there are examples whatever the how it is coming. Natural pollution means volcanic eruptions. When the volcanoes erupted, a lot of gases are coming, some of the dust particles is coming, particulate matter is coming, lot of poisonous gases will be released from the volcano eruption. Sulfur related, nitrogen oxide related compounds are erupted. So those are called the pollution will be created. Emissions from the natural gas. So when the natural gas is emitted, that also is a causing for the natural pollution. Soil erosion, when the top layer of the soil will be eroded or removed by the natural itself, also causing for the soil. Air pollution is coming. The dust particles enter into the atmosphere and air pollution is created. Ultraviolet rays, this is coming that also is a air pollution related. Cosmic rays is a man-made. Most of the pollution is the man-made only. These include like a thermal power plants. Generally in the thermal power plants we are generated the power. For that purpose different fuels are using. Coal are using majorly. In that coal containing the major is the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen. These are elements is there. If the sulfur and nitrogen content will be more in the coal sample, so that will be giving the more pollution is created, because is the thermal power plant only is done the combustion process. During the combustion process sulfur will be combined with the oxygen and nitrogen to produce the different oxides of the sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, nitrogen oxides are formed. These are will be more pollution created air. Industrial units. So nowadays lot of air pollution coming from the industries also. They are releasing the whatever chemicals from the industrial units. Vehicle emissions. Vehicles are generally during the combustion, most of the carbon dioxide, sometimes is the off combustion of the carbon monoxide is releasing. This carbon monoxide is the very poisonous and gas is a more affinity to the iron present in the blood. Is a fossil fuel burning. In the fossil fuel burnings also lot of air pollution related gases are releasing. Agriculture activities. After completion of the agriculture, some of the waste of the agriculture will be burning. So from that also gases is releasing, causing for the pollution. So mostly is the pollution is coming from the man-made only compared to the natural. This is the air pollution. We are going to discuss about the air pollution. Air is the first air. What is the composition of the air? So in this air 78% of the nitrogen will be there. 78% of the nitrogen will be there. Is a 20.9% of the oxygen will be there. Other gases like less than 0.17%. and carbon dioxide 0.03% of the carbon dioxide there. This is the air composition. Major portion is the nitrogen, second is the oxygen will be there. If this composition will be alteration or change, that is called the air pollution. The composition of the air, alteration of the composition of the air, whatever reasons is a pollution, is called the air pollution. Here the air pollution may be described imbalance in quality of the air causes adverse effects on living organisms and existing on earth. So imbalance means the composition, whatever is the changed, is a more nitrogen percentage or less oxygen percentage, the composition will be alteration, the imbalance, that will be adverse effects will be created on the living organisms are existing on the earth, is called the air pollution. So that substance, whatever that substance is causing or energy is a causing of the pollution, is called the a pollutant. Is called the pollutant. Either the chemicals or energy, whatever is causing for the alteration of the that composition, is called the pollutants. Generally, these air pollutants are classified into the two categories. One is the primary pollutants and the second one is the secondary pollutants. Primary pollutants, these are directly emitted from the atmosphere. So whatever the primary pollutants means, these are the directly emitted into the atmosphere, like a carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. These are all directly coming from the through the combustion in the automobiles or some of the industries are released. Sulfur related oxides in the thermal power plants, sulfur, nitrogen oxides, chlorofluorocarbon, these are all directly coming into the atmosphere by the primary source. For example, chlorofluorocarbons, these will be widely used in the either coolant or refrigerators. As a coolant will be used, chlorofluorocarbons. So these are also released directly into the atmosphere. Those are called the primary air pollutants. The secondary air pollutant means this interaction of the primary air pollutants or by the reaction with the atmospheric constituents or chemicals, is called the secondary air pollutants. For example, this is the nitrogen related oxides. Take the example of the sulfur dioxide. So for example, sulfur dioxide is releasing from the sulfur. This sulfur will be more available in the coal. If the coal will be burning, sulfur containing the coal will be burning, sulfur is converted to the sulfur dioxide. That sulfur dioxide is coming to the atmosphere. Is the atmosphere containing the humidity or moisture that will be combined to form a sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid means that is coming to the acid rain. So means acid rain is a secondary pollutant. So means whatever the source of the primary pollutant react with the atmospheric gases or other chemical sources in the atmosphere, is a combined or reacted to produce the source, is called the secondary air pollutants. Examples for the ozone, smoke, para-acetyl nitrate, acid rain, aerosols, these are all the secondary air pollutants. So here the represent the schematic diagram is the primary air pollutants like sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. These will be coming from the primary pollutants. These are react with the different chemicals available or humidity, moisture in the environment or atmosphere, that will be converted into the secondary pollutants like acid rain. In the previous slide we discussed that one. Ozone also coming, we discuss later in that one. Now coming to the, this slide will be exhibiting the whatever the air quality. Air quality is the one of the air quality index. So most of the 30 polluted cities in the world, most of the 21 cities are in India, because is the more air pollution will be created in India. One of the example discussed air quality index before and after the COVID time is before 2019, that air quality index is the more than 400, means is the more automobiles, industries are working, lot of air pollution is created, air quality index is the more than 400. During the lockdown, April 2020, air quality index came around 68, means due to the whatever stop the industries, vehicles by the lockdown, so air quality index rapidly increased. So pollution is decreased. This is the one of the slide will be represented the major environmental concerns and air quality. So what are the causes of the air pollution? What are the major causes for the air pollution? The whatever the first industrial emissions. Industrial emissions. So different industries are using for the different purpose, power generations, chemical industries. These are all releasing the lot of pollutants to the atmosphere. Those are causing for the air pollution. The previous slide we discussed about the thermal power plants, automobiles. Automobiles also generally releasing the carbon dioxide, major source. If incomplete combustion, carbon monoxide also releasing. This carbon monoxide is the very poisonous gas. More affinity with the hemoglobin compared to the oxygen. For example, when you breathe the carbon monoxide, is a lot of immediately a complex formation with the iron present in the blood, carboxyhemoglobin. Immediately form this one a complex, because this is a powerful ligand compared to the other ligands. So that's why this is the more poisonous gas. So thermal power plants. So in the thermal power plants, mostly coal will be used as a fuel for the generation of the power. So in this coal containing the either sulfur, nitrogen, different elements present in that one. If sulfur will be present, lot of sulfur related oxides, nitrogen related oxides coming to the atmosphere and causing further pollution. And the nuclear explosions, when the nuclear will be exploded, a lot of radioactive related elements is enter into the atmosphere, that will be not immediately come down to the create a lot of pollution. Nuclear power plants also. Agriculture activities, when after completion of the agriculture activities, the waste will be burned. So that also is a causing for the lot of air pollution related released chemicals are released. And the disposal of the garbage. So when the disposal of the garbage in the one place, a lot of volatile compounds, non-volatile compounds slowly evaporated and accumulated in the atmosphere is also causes for the waste of the garbage. These are the major causes for the coming from the different sources and the causes for the air pollution. So in this one, we can discuss on one of the side is there. Generally in the human being breathe nearly 22,000 times for a day. On average, inhaling nearly 16 kgs of the air will be taken. So generally 22,000 times of the humans will be breathing for a day. So for that, inhaling nearly 16 kgs of air will be taken, not the oxygen. So in that air is the nearly, previous slide explained, is the nearly 21% of the is there. So we can calculate nearly how much oxygen, pure oxygen we are taking for the breathing purpose based on the this one. So 16 kgs of oxygen means is oxygen air containing the 21% of the oxygen. Based on that, how much is pure oxygen we are taking daily based on that one. So now coming to this slide, what are the effects of the air pollution? What are the major disadvantages when the more air will be polluted? The first effects on the human health. The first one is the bronchoconstriction. So means whatever is the first is coming to the when you breathe air polluted, more air polluted oxygen or air taken into the breathing purpose. First is a cause effect to the lungs. So these lungs will be is a very narrow range until both lobes, whatever lobes containing the lungs will be coming to the very close, narrow will be coming. So that is the called the bronchoconstriction. So inflammation of the lungs, when the very narrow range is coming, so automatically breathing will be takes place very difficult. That's why is the inflammation. Inflammation means a swelling is coming. So edema and inflammation both are related to the swelling is coming. So damage to the respiratory system, blood vascular system and excretory system. Once the lungs will be affected by the breathing system, so these are connected to the respiratory system, blood vessel system and excretory system. These are all will be affected. Different types of cancers also is a causing for the more polluted air will be taken for the breathing purpose. These are the human health problems are coming. Effects on plants. What are the major effects on coming the plants? First one is the chlorosis of the leaves. When the more polluted air will be there in that place, is the chlorosis means is the leaves will be converted into the is a yellow color. So lack of the chlorophyll. So chlorophyll content will be very less when the more polluted on the occupied on the surface of the leaves is the converted to the yellow color. That is called the chlorosis. Bleaching of the leaf pigments. Whatever the pigment containing the chlorophyll, the magnesium also slowly is down. That is called the bleaching. Development of the necrotic spots. A lot of spots will be generated on the leaf surfaces due to the more air pollution there. Is the premature falling of the leaves. If the more polluted, the whatever leaves will be fall down, that before itself the leaves will be fall down. Is the smaller leaf size. These are all the effects on the plants. Now coming to the aquatic life. For example, is the more oxides, sulfur oxides, whatever is the nitrogen related oxides will be accumulated in the atmosphere as a pollutants, air pollutants, that will be combined with the humidity or moisture, is the acid rain is coming. Once the acid rain is coming means that water is whatever river water or sea water, lake water, pond water, that high acidity will be there, and then lower pH and a more acidic nature will be there. More acidic nature will be there is means is a more aquatic life will be damaged. These are the effects, some of the effects. And in the next slide, on the effects on the materials. So effects on the materials means is the sulfur dioxide and the moisture can accelerate the corrosion of the metal surfaces. If the more sulfur dioxide is releasing from the coal, that also causes for the corrosion. Metal surfaces will be corroded. Is a H2SO4, whatever the acid rains, and some of the statues are made by the either marble or limestone. For example, is the best example for given for this statement is the Taj Mahal. Whatever color will be slowly changed because is the Taj Mahal mostly constructed by the marble stones or limestone. So that is nothing but a calcium carbonate. Major percentage will be there. So once the acid rain will be fall down in the calcium carbonate, this will be slowly is a chemical reaction will be takes place and the color also changed. So means more acid rains is coming from the polluted sulfur dioxide, air pollution. So that is the effects on the materials. The effects on the climate. So greenhouse effect, global warming, acid rain and ozone layer depletion. These are the effects on the climate. Now control. What are the control methods for the air pollution? Here the first inputs do not containing the any air pollutants. That feedstock must take in the less pollutants feedstock prefer compared to the more pollutant feedstock. And the feedstock itself and starting whatever the feedstock itself containing the less pollutants. Operating process minimize generation of the pollutants. Whatever process you are utilizing, that process will be less pollutants. Replacing process with one does not generate the pollutant. Removing the pollutants from the process. So these are the some of the control methods. The substitution of the raw materials. For example, if already previous slides in the discussed, if high sulfur content present in that one, more pollution will be created. So that's why low sulfur content coal will be used for the power generation. Then automatically the air pollution will be reduced or decreased. Changing the fossil fuel with the nuclear energy. So alternate energy, the sulfur emission will be reduced. So here by involving the some of the process modification during the modification of the oxidation reactions or reduction reactions monitored by the some of the nowadays technologies like a computerized process will be utilized. So what are the control techniques will be there? There are so many control techniques are there for the control of the air pollution. Here the like a wet collectors, gravity setting chambers, cyclone collectors, dry scrubbers, filters, electrostatic precipitators. There are different technologies are there, air pollution control techniques. But one of the cyclone separator will be used also in the most of the industries. In that one, mainly working of the gravity, based on the gravity. Inside is the whatever is the centrifugal force will be rotating that one. Based on the centrifugal rotation, when the dirty air means is the polluted air will be sent into the cyclone separator. If the centrifugal is a separator will be working that one. So when the centrifugal separator will be rotating that one, high weight and high dense particles will be stick on the surface of the cyclone. So only lightweight will be coming to the top of the cycloner. And then based on the centrifugal process or gravity based, these particles or air will be purified by the cyclone separator. There are different techniques are used, electrostatics, precipitators, cyclone separators. So these are the other techniques. So in this presentation, we discussed about the air pollution, what are the causes of air pollution, what are the effects of air pollution on different materials, different plants and animals, what are the control techniques are used in this presentation. So in the next lecture, we discuss about the water pollution. Thank you.